Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line, a Friday edition. Basketball, and more basketball coming your way. On this point, it's Donnie right side, and it's Joe Ranieri. Joe, feeling good about this show. A big weekend ahead, which includes Sunday, daylight savings. But before we get there, we got a lot of basketball action to talk about, and I'm ready to go. How about you?
I am ready, Donnie. We got a lot happening over the next 4 to 5 weeks, so I am looking very forward to it, including what's going to happen here in the World Baseball Classic.
How about this, Joe? Let's start in college basketball, taking center stage tonight at 9 p.m. from Athens, Ohio. It's Miami, Ohio, taking on the Ohio Bobcats. Why is this important? Well, supremacy is on the line for being unbeaten in the regular season, something we don't see quite a bit here. Since 2000, only a few teams have done it. Miami looking to close the deal. For them to win tonight outright, Joe, on the Kalshi Marketplace, they're now currently trading at a 69% chance. If they win by 5.5 points, it's a 51% chance. But the question on everybody's mind, Joe, is will Miami of Ohio be unbeaten, and can they win this basketball game? They're favored to do that.
Yes, they are, and I think they absolutely win. I mean, I think currently you're looking at probably minus 240, 245 in books around all over the place. I think you're right around that price here with the prediction markets as well. So if you think Miami of Ohio gets it done, then do it. By the way, I'm not opposed to laying the points in this one either here, Donnie.
Should be a fun one to watch. Again, national stage, 9 p.m. on ESPN2. You can watch that play out and also understand this as we talked about in hour number one. It's been a little bit of a bumpy ride for Miami of Ohio. So the expectation for them showing up tonight and just blowing the doors off Ohio, could it be? Maybe. But the expectations are this game is going to come down to the final few minutes, and a lot of people watching and seeing if they can be undefeated. Because if they are, I think that stamps that ticket here into March Madness with an at-large bid, regardless, Joe, of what happens in the MAC tournament, which will take place next week. Let's keep it in the A-10 in college basketball tonight. Another big game on a Friday night, which you love to see. It's VCU taking on Dayton. This game going to be played in Dayton, and Dayton is currently trading at a 53% chance to win this game. VCU, the dog, trading at 47%. If we're looking at a point spread tonight here on the Kalshi Marketplace, Dayton by minus 2.5 points is trading at 45%. So a $100 investment for them to win by 3 points, Joe, that will pay back $223. VCU Dayton tonight, good one in the A-10.
It's a great one, Donnie, and it's one of those situations where, listen, these are two rivals, but VCU certainly in this building has kind of dominated the Flyers over the last 4 to 5. So I think 4-1 now is what they are on the road in this building. And styles make fights right now, and VCU shoots the three very well. Dayton doesn't defend it very well. Also, Dayton gets a lot of their points in transition off of turnovers. The problem is VCU doesn't turn the ball over all that much. So it's not a great matchup, even though it's at home for Dayton. I think VCU here is looking at a nice little bit of a dog here, but I do think they have some value in this one.
Could come down the free throw shooting, and understand this, Joe. Dayton, number one in conference play, getting to the free throw line. Do you know where VCU is? They're actually number 2. And you take a look at them making the free throws, number one in conference play. Dayton, 77.5% as a team from the free throw line. It could come down to the charity stripe tonight. In New Jersey, Joe, we'll keep it in college basketball. St. John's of the Big East taking on Seton Hall of the Big East. Seton Hall needs this victory here. St. John's, as we know, is the better team. And on the Kalshi Marketplace here, St. John's trading at a 63% chance to win this game, 37% chance here for Seton Hall. If we look at the total in this game and the side, St. John to win this game by 4.5 points, that's currently trading at 47% as a chance, and over 137.5, that's trading at 48%. Big East basketball in New Jersey from the Rock tonight.
So, listen, the problem with Seton Hall is they can't score, Donnie. They have no offense, right? They were leading the first go-around against the Johnnies by 15 in the second half and ended up losing by 5. But I'll tell you this, nobody has been better as a dog against the number this year than Holloway and Seton Hall. In fact, Seton Hall is 9-1 against the number this season as a dog here. This feels like it's going to be just an absolute bar brawl here. They're going to go at one another. I don't know if we're getting a whole lot of points in this one. It feels like maybe the first one is 65-70 wins, but it's not like the Johnnies aren't playing for the number 1 seed in the Big East tournament either, so they can ill afford to lose this game with UConn right behind them.
And as Joe points out, offense tough to come by for Seton Hall. There's 11 teams in the Big East. Effective field
Oof.
goal percentage here for Seton Hall, 11th in conference play. Turnover percentage on offense, 10th out of 11th. Shooting the three-point shot, dead last in conference play. How about inside the arc, Joe? Dead last in conference play. We'll see if the Johnnies can turn it up. Oh, no, yeah. Did we tell you that St. John's has the most efficient defense in conference play? Good luck, Seton Hall. We'll see what happens tonight in that game. And by the way, Joe, quick question for you. That game starts at 9 o'clock. Miami of Ohio starts at 9 o'clock. Who gets the better ratings tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, Miami of Ohio should absolutely be. Well, it depends. Do you like offense? If you like offense, watch Miami of Ohio. If you like, missed shots, air balls, guys battling under, it's going to be a defensive battle there with the Johnnies and Seton Hall.
Fox Sports 1's going to handle that St. John's Seton Hall game. Then Miami of Ohio versus Ohio. That's going to be on ESPN2. Both of them at 9 o'clock. You know what's going to be in the 9 o'clock hour? The New York Knicks traveling to take on the Denver Nuggets tonight. Sensational game anticipated. The New York Knicks currently in the Kalshi marketplace trading at a 52% chance to win this game outright. Of course, Denver trading at 48%. If you want the spread here, New York to win this game by 1.5 points, trading currently at 50% and over 229, trading at 51%. Good night tonight, Nick game for your Joe for the Rocky Mountain area.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be a very good game here. The Nuggets, though, on the second of a back-to-back last night, they handled business. Another triple-double for the Joker, but he had to play 38 minutes in doing so. Aaron Gordon back for the Nuggets here tonight. They're saying it just feels like fewer points than what you might expect here, certainly for a Nuggets game. It's listed at, 230.5. I don't know. Nuggets team total under, full game under might be a pretty good market to look at for this one.
By the way, you can bet props on this marketplace as well, Joe. If you think Nikola Jokic has a monster game tonight, which includes 30-plus points, that's currently trading at 42%. A $100 investment there pays back $257. You want some late-night action tonight? How about 9:30? That's the Clippers taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs had a monster game, showcase game yesterday, handled their business, at least from the three-point line and in the victory column against the Detroit Pistons. Tonight, they're going to be at home on a back-to-back, taking on the Clippers. If we look at San Antonio to win this basketball game, currently trading at 72%. The Clippers here feel they can put up the upset, Joe. That's a nice price of 28%, and a $100 investment there plays back $358. Clippers, San Antonio Spurs tonight from San Antonio.
This is a different Clippers team. They're coming in. They are the more rested side with San Antonio playing a pretty, physical game last night against Detroit. Blew them out, but still, they are on the second of a back-to-back. And don't forget, we just saw Darius Garland make his appearance for the Clippers last game there. Looked pretty good, didn't he? This is a very interesting and I think a very dangerous Clippers team who has their sights set on the postseason. Tough spot here, I think, for San Antonio. I would look to grab as many points as you can now with the Clippers.
And by the way, you can also use those little sliding scales here. Take a look at the spread and the total here. If San Antonio wins by 9.5 points, which is effectively at double digits, you can invest $100. That pays back at $228. That's plus money. Or on the flip side here, say, you know what? I want to buy it up a little bit here, and I'm going to take the the Clippers to get the 9.5, Joe. $100 investment pays $176 back, and that's them getting 9.5 points, not around that 6.5 point range, as we pointed out. But also, Joe, the prop market always going to be hot. Kawhi Leonard, if he feels he's ready to go tonight, $100 investment on him, Joe, to get 30-plus points, that pays back $239. A couple big names in this marketplace that we want to get after.
You listen, big names in this game here who are going to bring it, and betting against Kawhi, never a good situation here. I like his chances here having a big game.
How about this one? Victor Wembanyama, Joe, 25-plus points tonight, currently trading at 49%. So a $100 investment there would pay you back $205 plus money, people. Those are the prediction markets that we're trying to get you the edge on. Sounds like a great name for a show right here on the early line. We'll be back after this short break. Right back at it, Prediction Markets Edge on the early line Friday morning edition. So much good stuff to go over. Donnie right side along with Joe Ranieri. And one of those things that we love to talk about here, Miami of Ohio's undefeated season. Tonight, it's on the line. Final game of the regular season, Joe. They made it all the way through to the final night, 9 p.m. start on ESPN2. You know what's trading at right now to be undefeated, Joe? 70% in the marketplace. A $100 investment on them getting it done pays back $137. Why? They are the favorite tonight, Joe. The simple question for the people out there, which includes yourself, do they get it done tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a great market, Donnie, simply because you're not going to have to tie up a whole lot of money very long, right? I can tell you this. They haven't lost a game all year. They're playing with more confidence than any team I have seen in a very long time. They're also 7-0 in one-possession games this year. They've already beaten Ohio. Ohio doesn't shoot the three well, and they don't protect the perimeter well, which is not a good style here in order to beat Miami of Ohio. I'm sorry. I mean, you're looking at roughly paying, what, 74 cents on a dollar for a team that has won 30 in a row and matches up great here? I'll take it all day long for a couple of hours, Donnie.
And by the way, if you're looking at like that graph going through, go back to January the 31st / February 1st here. They were trading at 10% to have an unbeaten season. It steadily rose. And you see those little craters going back and forth and where they come, because February 27th, they were dropped down to 49% at around 6 p.m. So maybe some money coming in, some games getting completed, not having hot starts to start, and away they go. But Miami has a chance to be undefeated in the regular season with a victory tonight over the Ohio Bobcats. We'll see if they get there. Women's college basketball champion, UConn. No surprise, Joe. Trading right now in the Kalshi marketplace at 66% live to get that done. UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, and LSU. Understand this, too. The women's tournament, just like the men's, it only takes one bad game to get knocked out. The question is UConn going to have a bad game? Talking about undefeated seasons, UConn putting it up now.
Yeah, very hard. Much like Miami of Ohio, Donnie, very hard to bet against a superior team with more experienced head coach than you will ever find. They have been there. They've done this. UConn women's basketball expects to win, and they are playing at a ridiculous level this year. I think it's UConn and everyone else, and it is theirs to lose. So there you go. I mean, yes, there's a lot of variance, but no way would I be looking to fade UConn in this market.
You want to go against the grain, you take out the no contract, Joe, trading at 33 cents right now. A $100 investment pays back $304, which means you're going to have 6 to 7 chances there to knock UConn out. The only question is they've been throwing haymakers all season long. But as we said, it only takes one game. UCLA's got a good ball club out there running, I think, undefeated in their regular season throughout the Big Ten. And then South Carolina always going to be there with Dawn Staley and the crew trading at 10% right now. Women's tournament on deck next. They're going through their conference tournaments this week, same as the men's next week. And away we go into March Madness. But let's flip it over, Joe. A lot of people watching live this morning and yesterday. The WBC is underway. USA versus Brazil tonight. 8 p.m. start. 98%, Joe. That's not an error that they're trading to win this game against Brazil. So if you say, you know what, I'm going to take that yes contract out, you'll get $2 into your back pocket. And I got to tell you, that could pay for maybe a half of a cup of coffee or third a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Might not be too bad of a $2 discount, Joe, no?
Yeah, Donnie, there are some awful markets around this game here. I looked at the Nerfy or the Yerfy, right? No run in the first inning or run in the first inning. Do you know that the yes to a run in the first inning is trading at minus 563? You know what the no is? Minus 185. Think about that market for you, Donnie. Whether we get a run or we don't get a run, we still have to wager. We still got to lay down anywhere from $200 to $600 in order to make any money. It's just crazy. This is one of those markets and games where you just go, congrats for winning, Team USA, but they haven't played the game yet. Congrats for winning, USA. I'll invest my money someplace else.
I'll tell you what's interesting too, Joe. You take a look at the over 13.5 runs scored here, trading at 76%. They don't let you even slide it up. We were talking about the books here, like FanDuel, DraftKings, Bet365, listing it at 14.5. They only give you the 13.5. It'll be interesting to see what that slider would be higher and higher. But also, you're basically just betting on Team USA at that point. So instead of saying to yourself, okay, USA wins by 9.5 runs, I would just slide it up to 11.5, take the yes on that point, and it's $117 back. But
Yep.
It's crazy. We are expecting almost 2 touchdowns to come just from Team USA here, Joe.
It's, again, congratulations, Team USA, for beating Brazil. I know the game's on at 8 o'clock Eastern time, but again, congrats for beating them. Let's get that out of the way, Donnie.
Well, the good part about that is in that hour here, USA probably going to be up 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 runs. Then you can flip over and take a look at Miami of Ohio taking on the Ohio Bobcats to remain undefeated and see where that goes. Joe, we just saw a trade go down yesterday in the marketplace, which is going to have a little bit of insight here on who might be able to win the AFC and, more importantly, who might be able to win the MVP. An extra wide receiver for Josh Allen. He's currently trading at 12% as a chance to win the MVP. Tightly contested by the usual suspects. Lamar Jackson at 9%. Yes, I'll say Drake made 8%, who should have been the MVP, but his coach is an absolute rockhead. And Justin Herbert at 8%, Caleb Williams, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes. Is it correct, Joe, that on the predictive marketplaces here, Josh Allen is listed as the favorite?
Well, it makes sense. I mean, right? Roughly, 12, 13% chance here at this in this market. But I'm going to be fascinated with Lamar Jackson at that price, about 10 cents, Donnie. When you think about it, he's already won this award twice, right? There was obviously some friction going on between the coaching staff and him last year. Well, now that that's all gone, you know, getting a 2-time MVP at that price in March, not a bad investment, I don't think.
Not a bad investment. New coach, new maybe offensive structure in their scheme. And also, you know, they're going to be hunting for more weapons this offseason. It might be that season that Lamar Jackson can put it together. Drake May, regular season, probably a little bit out on at this point. No Stephon Diggs. We'll see if they get an A.J. Brown type or a top-level wide receiver in the draft. Caleb Williams is interesting. And I know you've talked about Joe Burrow as well. As long as you have those 2 weapons at wide receiver and he's healthy with that bad defense out here, there's always a chance that he could certainly light it up. But Patrick Mahomes at 7%, Jordan Love at 5%, Matthew Stafford won the MVP last year, Joe, 5%. How about any love for Matthew Stafford? They're ramping up on defense, Joe. Could he repeat this year?
Well, I think this is, you know, the final year, right? This will be his going away present if he decides to hang it up. But they are running it back one more time, and you got to like their chances now that the moves they're making on that defense.
All right, now you see the Philadelphia Eagles. You know they're my squad here, Joe. How about a little Jalen Hurts action, trading at 3%? $100 investment on Hurts, $3,334. We'll be right back. Predictive markets, we love to talk about, and we want to give you the edge right here on the early line. It's on the right side, and it's showing here a little bit of fun in some different marketplaces where we talk about college basketball and the NBA. We talk about the WBC and also some MVP action. How about this one, Joe? How long will the government shut down last? At least 20 days? Yeah, that's 99%. They can't even bet that to the yes. At least 25 days? 98%. 30 days? 93%. Looks like we're headed for an extended shutdown. And let me just tell the people, Joe, how this is actually graded. A shutdown is defined as the government's orderly suspension of agency work that is not legally accepted, typically accompanied by furloughing employees who perform that work. How about that, Joe? Extended time coming up here. Where would you take this contract?
Well, I mean, here's we're talking what, a second partial government shutdown of 2026, which began back on February 14th. I mean, the market seems to be heavily pricing that this is going to be a long, drawn out, stalemate, pushing, I think, the 40-day market to what? Almost minus 263, 265. So it seems like, a lot of screaming. The rhetoric is loud, but the actual logistical pain of a 50 or more day shutdown historically doesn't happen, Donnie. So if you bet historically here, you're investing on the no at least 50 days here at a pretty decent price, because it's likely never getting to that point.
Absolutely. And we'll see if the shutdown lasts or continues, how long it is. It's political here. It's not going to be bipartisan at this point. It's going to be very partisan on which side these people talk at and also vote at to see if they end the shutdown. Having said that, Joe, we saw some big news yesterday come through. Kristi Noem out of Secretary of Homeland Security. She's replaced. Now also the question asked here in the predictive markets, who will leave the Trump administration this year also, which means you got right up to the last day of the year in 2026. You take a look at some Kash Patel. He's been in the spotlight here where Trump might not have liked him partying in the locker room, bad optics with Team USA. But I focus now on Pam Bondi, who's the Attorney General. She's currently trading, Joe, at a yes of 49% to leave the Trump administration this year. That $100 investment will pay back $205. If I have one pick who could be replaced the remaining parts of this year, Joe, it's Pam Bondi for me. What are you thinking?
Well, to me, I'm looking at Kash Patel, and I am fading the yes market, and I'm investing in no here. I mean, listen, the headlines are never going to be in favor. It's always going to be around the head of the FBI. There's always public sees controversy and assumes, oh boy, imminent exit here. But I don't see that happening anytime soon, because he's executing exactly what the agenda and the mandate was here. I don't see that Trump is all of a sudden just going to go upheaval here and get rid of the director of the FBI. I like the investment in the no there.
I'll tell you an interesting one. Trump does like Susie Wiles, who's the chief of staff, but you see the rumor reports start to come out where she might be out after the into the interims that are going to be coming up here. And that's going to be an interesting process to go through. But she's currently trading at yes to leave at 28 cents, which a $100 investment pays back $358. You're going to get those wild cards. But in this market, we see so many times where there's smoke, there's fire, and these numbers will change on a day-to-day basis. Whether they happen or not, yes contract, no contract, just like the stock market, they can go higher and lower. Oscar for Best Picture. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. One battle after another, which might have been the worst 15 minutes I spent watching a movie here this year. The storyline, Joe, it's basically the story of Antifa, trading at 77% chance to win. I thought the movie was horrendous.
You spent 15 minutes there? I couldn't make it through 60 seconds of the trailer. Like, I was just like it was like, nope, can't do this here. But again, a market heavily influenced by all the whispers and the TMZ headlines of the world here. So usually, though, at this point, the closer we get to it, Donnie, it's at that price likely going to happen at this point.
Take a look at some of those other ones, Joe. How about a little Frankenstein action, trading at 1% right now? $100 investment, Joe, that's 10 grand in your back pocket. And by the way, did Marty Supreme fall off here? Let me just go back. It looks like it was one battle after another for a while. But Marty Supreme only 2%. Now, hold on, Joe. How do we have a movie that only trading at 2%, but then you take a look at who's going to win the Oscar? It could be Chalamet trading way higher than that. Markets don't seem to be like they're on the right scale here, Joe. Come on.
Well, we talked about that a couple of months ago, and it was leading. It was one of the leading prices and one of the favorites to actually win it. Yeah. And then that was just before the movie came out. Then once it came out and everyone's like, this is not a ping pong movie. I thought this was a sports movie. It's a total, they hated it. So there you go. Now all of a sudden, look how far it's dropped in just 2 months since it was released.
By the way, Sinner's only trading at 20%, Joe. They've been cleaning up the other awards. Is this a setup by saying, like, here's your secondary prize? What's that about?
That's exactly how that works. Oh, congratulations on the, the Golden Globes or everything else that you want, but you're not getting the Oscar.
Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line. A fun weekend here. Close it out in style on Friday. And as usual, Joe Ranieri and Donnie Right Side back on Monday. More Prediction Markets Edge right here on the SportsGrid Network. We'll see you then.